Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we are playing a brand new Gladius DLC, Adeptus Mechanicus. Here we are. We're playing as a bunch of robot hunchbacks. Should be a giggle. So, we're also not going to have any friendly faces. No, it's all just those filthy Xenos with their heretical technology that we're going to learn about and probably end up stealing because we're very hypocritical. But anyway, let's go over their unique thingamajigs. Mechanics, I guess, is a better word for that, but we're already saying Mechanicus a lot in this whole, video, so let's avoid saying Mechanics and Mechanicus, because they got their own mechanics who have mechanics. So it is a whole thing. So, doodads, perhaps. That could be a good one. Initial challenge, hard, so we're only going to play on medium difficulty, because I haven't played this in ages, and I know I'm just going to get stomped otherwise. Canticles of the Omnissiah. Chant Mechanicus hymns to enhance units, increasing in power with every praying warrior. Sounds about right. Doctrina Imperatives, or imperatives, perhaps. It's hard to know what is trying to sound faux Latin and what isn't. So, imperatives, because I'm just going to ham it up. Might as well, right, while we're here. Overrides Guitarii subroutines to amplify some combat aspects while reducing others. Hive cities. Now, this is a very interesting thing, very unique to these guys. Place more buildings per tile by utilising Adeptus Mechanicus' capability to create layered constructions of rockcrete and adamantium. So just oppressive, brutalist architecture is a bonus for them, which is, yeah, pretty great, pretty typical of them. Monolithic buildings, increased output of buildings of the same type on a tile, decreased output of buildings of differing types on a tile. So not only can you fit more buildings into one tile on the map, but the more that you stack on top of each other of the same type, the more you're going to get, the more production you're going to get from each one. Although I guess not production, because production is a unique thing, that doesn't talk about the resources anyway, Gladius stuff. So, power surge. Increase the buildings, the output of buildings on a tile through forceful intensity. So, nice, just a little bonus to output. Enslaved to the past. Increased research cost. Now, this is of detriment, for sure, and really funny from the science guys. But again, they're very oxymoronic and hypocritical in nature, so it's perfect. The ability to truly innovate has been long lost, replaced with a reverence for the times when humanity was the architect of its own destiny. So, yeah, classic conservatism. Reprogram Castellan Robot. Now, this is awesome, because Castellan Robots, if you've ever seen this game before, you'll know that they are I guess, a neutral faction. Don't belong to any others. The world's faction, so like barbarians in Civilization, that sort of thing. But Castellan Robots are one such unit that are an absolute nightmare in the early game. They can one-shot most of your units of infantry and things running around the map, so you really want to keep your distance. But being able to get them on your side, so capture enemy Castellan Robots with Cybernetica datasmiths programming rituals. That is really powerful, potentially. I assume at some point they won't be much good, and if a bunch of them get destroyed before we get to them, then we're not going to be able to benefit from that, but there's a lot of potential there to have like a sudden power spike in our military, which we'll want to take advantage of. Bionics. Adeptus Mechanicus units have high damage resistances. Generally, artificial limbs are more durable than their biological counterparts. Sure are. And adjacency integration. Adeptus Mechanicus upgrades increase building output with each adjacent building. So not only do you build tool for bonuses, but you can build if you make one city just dedicated to a certain resource, then you're going to have so many bonuses to stack there. But what is interesting is this doesn't punish you for adjacency. So if you build a different resource adjacent to, well, a different resource, they're not going to impact each other. It's only if they're sharing a tile that you are punished for it. So you're not punished for having one settlement, at the start of the game. So that's good. You can still split up your things a bit early on and not have a bad time of it. But generally, I think we will be doing one resource per settlement. So, should be fun. So, the rest of the information is in the cutscene, I think, so let's get to it. Also, game pace on fast, because I find normal is so slow. It's so slow. Usually you want to get a few infantry out nice and early so you can actually start ganging up on some of the odd sort of wandering neutral enemies, Neutral enemies. Sounds a bit hypocritical, but you know what I mean. Let's start.
Gladius Prime. Adeptus Mechanicus first. What hive world was not? Its cities, its satellites, its wastes, all created with Mars's wisdom. All answering only to the tech priests. That is, to you, Magos. It was little work to hide your research into the Tyranids here, deep beneath the ashen wastes. Disastrous though it was. But you have followed the Omnissiah's plans. And now is the time to finally execute on them.
So, I absolutely adore that as an intro, because it seems to suggest that we were here before everything went to hell. Almost literally, actually. It's stuck in a warp storm, isn't it? So it's almost in hell. Whereas most of the other factions that have been added to the game have sort of had some excuse of just like, and then they randomly turned up here, and now they're trapped. Secrets of Gladius, blah blah blah. Whereas this one, no, we were here. We were here when this place was still operational, and we managed to cling on. And we've been doing some very dark experiments to all the Tyranids that we've been hiding from everyone else. Whether that's anything to do with the downfall of Gladius or not, I guess we'll find out as we go through their quest line. So, Cybernetica Datasmith. Of course his surname is Smith. So let's see, where are we going to build? So you can see here, 3 building slots in most of these, which usually is only the largest, the most empty places. Look at that, 4 building slots there. Amazing. So anyway, yeah, here's the guys. They look great. There's our Skitarii Vanguards, which is great. Or Skitarii. I've heard both. I like Skitarii, though. It's more like Triarii from Total War Rome 2. Feels more Latin-y to me. So I think what we're going to do, because we've got good food income here, so I want to go on this one so I can get the food early. I think that's the way we're going to play it. I'm not seeing any other bigger benefits elsewhere. So yeah, let's grab that. Excellent. So straight away it captures the Jacero trader encampment. Jacero are like giant orangutans, which is fun. There's also Prometheum relay pipes over here. This will give us more energy, and that is something we're going to want early, but there are some Kroot hounds sat on it. I'm not entirely sure how we can see them over here. Oh, I guess that's a dip in... Is that a dip in the terrain or something? I don't know why we can see that, but not that. That's interesting. Here we have a fermentation pool that we're going to want to take for more food. And over here, again, more energy with those Prometheum relay pipes. Very useful, actually. It means we can focus on food production with our settlement nice and early on. I think that's a good idea. And the extra influence here is quite nice, too. That's quite handy, because then we can use that influence to boost our income using this little thing, Power Surge. This costs 30 influence, so we use this fairly often, and it lasts for 10 turns. So yeah, we're about to do that quite I can say reasonably, quite often. Alright, so I guess we'll start moving about. So one thing I will do, I always do this when we start a new campaign in Gladius, I love to read all of the fluff. Okay, I love the fluff, it sets the scene really well, and it's a turn-based game. If you're here for high-octane Warhammer 40k madness, then you're in the wrong place. It's not that sort of game. It's a methodical game. Not the most methodical in the world, but methodical enough that we can have a sit down and read fun Warhammer stuff. So, first off, Kroot hounds. Do you want to read about them first? I mean, sadly, it doesn't give us info on these guys. But I can read it over here anyway. So, Skitarii Vanguards, basic Doctrina Imperatives, infantry unit with radium weapons, and an aura that cripples enemy infantry and monstrous creatures. Very, very cool. The vanguard of the Skitarii cohorts are feared throughout the Imperium, for they use the baleful energies of the Forge Worlds as their weapon. I love that these baleful energies, it's a sort of reference to the mysticism of these guys, because they don't really know about radiation and the like, because they have no grasp on science, which I think is hilarious, because these are the science people. So equipped with pack generators that bleed potent energy byproducts, these Omnissiah martyrs are so saturated in radiation that even to approach them is to succumb to their peculiar curse. Their baroque carbines fill the air around the foe with harmful emanations, corrupting the atmosphere itself even as they punch hyper-irradiated shot into the flesh of their victims. So yeah, just don't be them. That sucks. Next up we have the Jaquero Trader Encampment. So if you have little regard for your life and seek excitement, visit the Jaquero, imbued with an instinctive technical creativity that exceeds even that of an orc mech boy. These orange-furred aliens resemble the great Terran ape. A great Terran ape, but can create wonders beyond imagining. The challenge is in acquiring them and safely working out what they do. So this will let us buy equipment for our heroes, which is kind of nice to have nearby. That will, of course, cost influence to purchase things from. So, yeah, it's good we're getting more influence from having this sort of in our domain, which is nice. Next up, we have Fermentation Pool. This apparently natural water source looks welcoming to any wildlife, but woe betide any thirsty groks that wanders by. Groks are like a space cow. The pool's unusual bacteria rot down the planet's plant life and concentrate the runoff into something lethally intoxicating. More advanced races can collect and refine the liquid for trade or entertaining consumption. It's just a big old vat of beer, which is nice. Kroot hounds. The pseudo-avian Kroot is uniquely flexible, able to absorb the genetic data of other races by consuming them, but sometimes isolated Kroot communities run into evolutionary dead ends. The Kroot hound is one such dead end, a devolution of the Kroot into a wolf-like species. On Gladius Prime, they have run feral for generations. I really enjoy the Kroot as a species. They're really goofy looking, but the idea of this just constantly adaptable sort of genetic mess, I think is really fun. Similar to the Tyranids, actually. Tyranids have a similar thing, but I think theirs is more intelligent in its sort of... They choose to use genes from planets that they've harvested rather than just sort of being trapped into it, I guess, by their own biology. So why are we discovered? Woe betide anyone who wanders into these... They love to say woe betide in this game. They really do love it. So woe betide anyone who wanders into these thickets of brambles. Slowly at first, but faster and faster, the living weed draws its razor-sharp filaments tighter around the hapless intruder. So, sentient brambles. Lovely. Promethium relay pipes. These heavily armoured ducts once carried energy-rich promethium to the planet's extensive human cities from deeply buried auto-refineries. Now, with the cities in ruins and from war and chaos, the surviving pipes can be exploited by whichever race claims them first. So, pretty cool that. And a Necron tomb next to it. Deep beneath this innocuous patch of land lies a tomb city, where the Necrons have slept away for long millennia. To one who knows the correct protocols, it's a simple matter to begin the procedure of awakening it and its inhabitants from their dreamless sleep. In other words, that's where new Necron cities can be built. So if a Necron, I forget what unit does it, goes there, they can make a new city. So hopefully they won't do that so close to home. But we'll see, because there are Necron about. So you can go to the fermentation pools, and you can go to the Promethium relay pipes. Oh, that's nice, little snug. There's cliffs sort of keeping that fairly safe, which I like to see. Anything else over here? I don't see anything else we can grab, so we might... Oh, there's something over here too. I can see the little outline. So there's something else we can grab over this way. And yeah, we can't get a look at it. But yeah, I want to get those Promethium relay pipes as well, because more energy up here means more buildings down here. So, straight away, we can build a Janitor Caropradium. Very fun. So this is going to give us infantry. Building that produces infantry as well as generates food, ore, and influence. So one thing I do wonder, and I think this might be a balancing issue, is I think they wanted to make sure that you aren't punished for building recruitment buildings. So they make it so recruitment buildings can produce some other bits and bobs. So that way, that will count as a food and an ore and an influence building. And so it will stack with other buildings that make that stuff. Obviously, it's a very low value, so you can't just build a bunch of these and get a huge amount of food out of it, but it's not going to give you the punishment for building a non-food building in a foodie area. So it lets you get off the ground a little bit earlier without the random punishments, which I like. I think it's a good one. But we're just going to build it right in the middle here. And we're going to wait. So 5 turns, and we can start getting some infantry. That's a long time. That is a long time. Don't like that at all. But in 5 turns' time, we'll be able to get a Cerberus Sulphur Hound, perhaps. Should we do that? That sounds useful. I like the sound of that. There's also Bulwark Imperative. Increases the armor, but decreases movement of Doctrina Imperativis. I'm going to go with Imperatives from now on, because I don't get as tongue-tied trying to pretend that I can speak Latin. It's more Greek Imperativis, I think, anyway, but whatever. Cost scales with the amount of affected units, up to 10. So I don't know, I think that might be like a doctrine you can do, rather than a flat upgrade, I'd imagine. Enhanced Data Tether increases the morale of Scitarii Vanguards. Manufactorum Cybernetica increases, it's a building that produces ground vehicles, as well as generates food or an influence. Cyberus Sulphur Hounds is a Doctrina Imperatives unit with flame weapons and an aura that cripples enemy infantry and monstrous creatures. Sounds really cool. Scitarii Martial. Doctrina Imperative. You know what, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again, apparently. Enough to get muscle memory, but not enough to pronounce it correctly. Very irritating. Hero unit that leads the Adeptus Mechanicus into battle, and we have Thermo Exchange Efficiency, increases the bonus output of Power Surge, which sounds pretty handy. I think we might try and get that pretty soon, but these two are both things we really need. Let's go with the the Cerberus Sulphur Hounds first. Let's do that, because I want that new unit type when we get this finished building. I think that'll be fun. And here's some more Crude Hounds. They say "Ouah, ouah," which I just realised. I think "Ouah, ouah" is actually French for woof woof. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm pretty sure that is the sort of onomatopoeia that French comics use. So I think that "Ouah, ouah," when it was localized into English, they just thought, oh, the Crude Hounds go "Ouah, ouah," right? But no, I'm pretty sure that, if you're French, let me know, because I'm pretty sure that's the case. I remember Eddie Izzard mentioning it at some point in a stand-up routine. So if that's the case, that's very funny, because it means that these Crude Warhounds are French. So, you have fond memories of your days as a menial in the canyons of Mars, and as a tech acolyte on Fecundia. Desitor Cambra Neon 7 was with you then. First as a fellow menial, then a bodyguard, now as your Scitari marshal. He has shared your mission this last century, so when he confirmed that the execution protocols were finally approved and released, you eagerly began initiating the early stages. That mission meant you had to be absent from your post, as Magos Benedict is quick to remind you. Absent when the Orc invasion began, absent when the Tyrannid breached containment, absent when the Adeptus Mechanicus forces, including the prized Castellans, were scattered across the planet, absent as Gladius Prime, once a proud hive world, was reduced to a wasteland with barely 1 billion souls scrabbling in the ruins, and with every Xenos and heretic battling for its remaining wealth. I love the idea that, like, 1 billion people, that's like nothing. That's just like a pathetic token amount of people. It just shows the population density of these planets. Barely 1 billion scrabbling around. Like, that is so many people. But you cannot explain to Benedict. You must treat your mission as if it came from the High Lords of Terror or the Fabricator General. Indeed, the Astra Militarum or Adeptus Astartes would not even support your studies of the Tyranids, and hence must be treated as hostile, let alone your ultimate plan. Cool. So that's a nice excuse to be like, oh, well, we've got to stop the Astra Militarum and Adeptus Astartes because they aren't with us in this mission. They don't know why what we're doing is important. They're only getting in our way, so screw them. So I like that. Good excuse for everyone to be fighting each other. Very Warhammer. So, but before planning, one must survive, and to survive, Company Neon 7 reminds you we must build Mars anew. Here. Construct a Genitor Carapradium, which we are doing, actually, and produce some Scitarii Vanguards. So we actually need to get 2 more infantry before we can start getting those weird dog units, which is fine, I suppose. And we just found some neophyte hybrids. Each cultist is spry and tough of build, weathered over a lifetime of hard labour. Their physical strength and reaction is bolstered by the alien genes lurking within. Neophyte hybrids do not bear the outward hallmarks of the Patriarch's sacred touch. As their brood leaders tell them, their blessings are are of the soul more than the body. These 3rd and 4th generation hybrids can pass for human. Some are even cunning enough to infiltrate the Astra Militarum. When the cult goes on the attack, these neophytes show their true colours, surging from sewers, catacombs and shadowy barracks. They swarm their enemies in such number that they can seize control of a planet's defences within the first hours of conquest. So these are obviously a Tyranid unit, sort of a Tyranid cult that grows from populations affected by the Tyranids. Sort of psychic hive energies or something. It's the gist, anyway. So, yeah, so pretty scary considering the fact that we were the ones that put Tyranids on this planet in the first place, so we could study them, and we weren't able to contain that. You know, it gave rise to things like the neophyte hybrids running around. And that's no good. That's no good for anyone. So I'm not sure whether to stay here or to leave. I think I'm going to run back this way, and I found the Kroot Hounds, so they don't have Overwatch, which is great. And I think, can I reach them with Anchania? Wow, really? You have like no range, do you? Let's have a look. Range 2 and range 3. Oh, then why can't you shoot that? You should be able to shoot them, right? I would have thought so. That's strange, isn't it? Yeah, I don't seem to get the option to attack. Kind of would have thought I would. I mean, I still have an action left. I guess that doesn't have line of sight there. Yeah, must be because of the trees. It doesn't have direct line of sight. Though I thought it had. Okay, no, it doesn't. It doesn't seem to have. I forget what it's called. There's a artillery keyword. It might actually just be artillery. Could be the keyword. That means if an enemy can see it, you can see it. But I don't think that has it, which means these trees are a bit of a liability for us. Not ideal. But anyway, I'm going to leave them. Or actually, I'm not, because they don't have Overwatch. So I get damage into them while I can. Let's see who the radium kills faster. That's not a great place to be. Wow, wiped out the whole unit. Nice. I guess it killed them faster. Well done. Alright, let's crack on. Oh, there's more of them. Hello. This is going to sting. So, although they don't have an Overwatch shot, they also can't be affected by Overwatch. I think they might be able to finish this off. Yep, they did. They wiped out the unit. Oh, good. Goody. That's what I wanted to see. So 5 turns before we can actually... Oh, you can shoot them. 5 turns before we can even recruit anything. Well, 3 now. And who knows how many turns before they can actually get unit out there. So, bit of a problem to be that short-handed this early. Not a fan of that. I also don't want to leave all this stuff unattended, but I think I might need to get back here and finish these guys off, and I can take the Promethean relay over on this side if this one gets lost. Oh, that's just perfect, isn't it? That is perfect. Oh, great. Oh, I hate that. This is a terrible start. Yeah, hate this. Alright. Alright, you do you, mate. Yeah, gonna keep shooting. Ugh, now they have to just go home and sit there and heal, I think. This is what I mean. This is why I prefer fast game speed. Otherwise, I've got to just sit there and wait for 20 turns. May as well just start the campaign again and hope for a better start. But getting attacked by a bunch of stuff in the trees is, you know, kind of luck of the draw. Can't just sit idle. Can't be too careful in the early stages of a campaign, or else you never get anything done. So, Power Surge, I'm going to do. Because, you know, we have the influence for it. We're just going to be sat here otherwise. And that may not speed anything up, but better than nothing. You know, gives us some more resources to spend. It'll do. Oh, he's run off. Good. He's not interested in taking this. Which is odd, but fine by me. Absolutely fine. Now you stay there until you're healed. It would be quicker here, but I want line of sight to spread a little bit further. Or do I want to go straight for this place? I mean, they don't have... they don't have an Overwatch, so... Yeah, I still want to be healed, though. We'll wait to heal. Boring. So, Cerberus Sulphur Hounds. Very cool. So, Doctrina Imperative's infantry unit with flame weapons and an aura that cripples enemy infantry and monstrous creatures, which sounds jolly handy, considering what we're up against in the early game here. So, Sulphurhound cavalry squadrons are aggressive shock troops and line breakers. The loping mechanical beasts breathe gouts of incinerating phosphor and disembowel the foe with slashing claws. Brilliant. While the elite Skitarii riders unload incandescent pistol fire, as they smash through defense lines before circling back for survivors. Wow, brutal. Absolutely brutal. So it's just some insane, like, just some sort of insane bloodlust horse. Some mechanical bloodlust horse. So we do need this for the quest. Some more Skitari, but I will get one Cerberus Sulphurhound first, because I reckon they will actually be of great benefit to us. I also now need to acquire a tile. Let's acquire a tile. I think we'll go here. Oh, actually, that will give us more food. So let's go to the one with the bonus food, because I want to get as much food as early as possible, so we can just start churning out infantry like a lunatic. After we've done that, though, and we do build... I'm not going to build the food just yet. You know what? Let's forget it. Let's forget that. We're going to clear a tile here first. So that'll be cleared, and we'll build another barracks, so we can churn things out quicker. And then we'll just hope that we can start getting food built here before we run out of it. That's the plan. So we want to maximise production first, because we are actually getting a fair bit of food early on, which seems nice. So we'll take advantage of that little bonus we have. So we'll skip you so you can heal a bit, and we'll get some more research. Let's get... I mean, Skitarii Marshal might be good. Getting a hero early sounds good. And I assume, because we can get him on tier 1, that we'll be able to recruit him just from our barracks, rather than needing a specific building. That's what I'm assuming. So we'll try it, even though we would like to have a ground vehicle production place. But... so be it. I want a hero. The hero's going to be useful. Probably. I've not played with them before. I'm assuming they'll be useful. Okay, so 2 more turns and that'll be healed up. So that'll do. How many turns before we get you built? 4. Ugh. That's so long. That's so long. Yeah, we'll just leave him there. I could move him into the city to get better healing, but we lose a turn of healing for moving, so it doesn't gain us anything. Might in fact lose us time. Okay, so now that we've done that, can't get another Genitor Corapradium because we don't have enough. We don't actually have enough ore just yet. Acquiring a tile will cost us a little bit of ore, so I guess I'll do that now. Now let's see, will that get us enough? No, because we need 37 and we're getting 10. Oh, we're actually getting 9.5 per turn, so if I do that it'll delay us by an additional turn. How much does this cost? The Ferrotonic Furnaces. Lovely. Sounds really useful. That costs 22. Tell you what, we're going to wait. We're going to wait. Okay, I want that recruitment building happening quicker, because we get way more resources from the random nodes we find. So I'm taking a gamble. We're actually going to do nothing this turn. Is that clever? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm sure the difference will be negligible. So let's get another one of these built. It is that one, right? Genitor Carapradium. Infantry. Good. Let's build that there, because I want to be able to churn these out. Because, yeah, one dies and we have a huge delay. Like, one dies, one's injured, we're wasting so much time. So we want to be able to churn these out, so we're always going to be outnumbering the enemy, and replenishing any that die nice and quick. Very important we do that. And that turn already moved by, did it? No, it didn't. Okay, good. Let's start you moving. Let's get you over here. And also, where are we on the map? Okay, we're on the very right-hand side. Cool. That's good to know. So this will be moving more into the centre of the map. The centre of the map is always where the most hostile of, like, neutral sort of creatures are. It's where all the big sort of Castellan robots are going to be roaming around. So we want to avoid the middle, ideally. But of course we go north and south. Along the edge of the map, we're going to bump into enemy players more. So it's you know, there's pros and cons. There's definitely pros and cons. There'll be some powerful artifacts in the middle as well. There'll be more of them in the centre of the map too. They'll give us nice faction-wide bonuses, provided we can keep hold of them, which is probably unlikely early on in the game when there's a bunch of Castellan robots. And I don't know how to take them over yet. Maybe with the Skitarii Marshal, I really don't know. Alright, let's move. Finally, we've taken another node. We're going in the right direction. Things are looking good. Right, so now you... How long before you can build more? One more turn, and we'll get the Sulphur Hounds. I really can't wait to see those guys. Cannot wait. because they sound very useful in the early game. Anything with sort of flamethrowers and stuff, just really good at clearing out mobs of infantry, which is most of... Yeah, I mean, look, here, again. Oh, please don't murder me, please. Come on. Well, that's just rude. But we do have these guys now built, and we do have a Skitarii Martial research. So, Marshals lead the Maniples and cohorts of Skitarii soldiery. They are veteran warriors of countless crusades, privileged to bear enhanced augmentations. Marshals stand as intermediaries between Skitarii formations and their priestly masters, employing sacred uplinks to refine their warriors' doctrines closer to holy perfection. In other words, they're captains and, I guess, the radio operator. Fair enough. You can't reach. Can you attack from there? I don't think so. Well, all these trees are a nuisance, that's for sure. I guess I'll head over here. So they look pretty cool. With their insane metal horses with, like, gas masks on. Oh, that's not really a gas mask so much as the barrel of a gun, because don't they breathe noxious fumes on people? So that's actually their exhaust. So, mechanical horses that belch sulfur. It's so like them to have a unit like that. Okay, so that's some good damage. Hopefully they won't be able to finish us off. It looks like they can't quite kill us off in one hit, but who's to say more hounds aren't on the way? So we may lose them as well. And we can get a marshal, so I'll get one of those queued up, and some more vanguards. I just realised these actually cost us some ore. I could have just emptied the queue a bit to get the ore I needed to build that. Oh, well, I'm an idiot. Choose research. I was thinking it only costs food, but no, of course not. Just food is the upkeep you need for them. So now we can get something else. Ignore range damage reduction. That sounds very useful. Does that apply to things like cover? I wonder. If that's the case, then all of these things running around the forest aren't going to bother me anymore. Litany of the Electromancer. Damages target enemy unit, attacks, and cost scales with the amount of canticles of the Omnissiah units. Okay. Not entirely sure what that means. Omnispecs, I think, is the coolest thing so far. Tech Priest Manipulus. So is that it requires a sub-cloister. Okay. Where do I get a sub-cloister? Increases flat amount of research gained from outposts. I mean, that sounds quite useful to get more research in early. I think we get that now, knowing that it'll pay off later. Okay, because we're going big on production, so we'll be fine. You know, we got some insane, noxious gas-breathing horses. I mean, they look a bit... I mean, they're called Cerberus, right? So you'd think it's more dogs, but of course they're riding them. So they could be... They do look a bit like dogs, a bit like horses, but, you know, like half horse, half dog, all bastard. That's what I'm thinking, right? Anyway, let's just skip the turn. I think we're done here. They're going to kill me a little bit. That's okay. Oh, crap. Here's another unit. Yeah, we're dead. They're dead. God, they are flimsy. I don't feel like they're more flimsy than other units, but... We just keep getting ambushed by Kroot hounds. Hounds are the worst, because we don't get our overwatch on them. So we can't injure them before they attack us, so they're always attacking us at full strength, which is a real problem. But these guys I can wipe out. I can wipe these guys out real easy. We just found a webway gate. This, of course, lets the Eldar build a new settlement, and they can take ownership of it at any point, which is very scary. So 2 more turns until I can get some more vanguards back. We're doing so bad at keeping our boys alive. You even get a defense bonus when you're in an outpost like this. You know, whenever you take over one of these nodes, it counts as an outpost, and you do get a little defensive bonus there. So, Webway Gate, a galactic tapestry of shimmering strands used by the Eldari to traverse the stars without risking the dread realm of the warp. The Webway once spanned the galaxy, even stretching out into the empty void beyond. I mean, that is pretty huge, that they sort of escaped the galaxy to a degree, because that is just... The galaxy is pretty much a prison in 40k. Like, no one's getting in and out of it, and as far as we can tell, the only thing outside the galaxy is Tyranids. Just as far as we know, that's all that remains. In every other galaxy in the universe, just Tyranids. And this is the only galaxy that is obsessed with war enough to keep them at bay for any point. But, yeah. So these days are long gone. Ravaged by war and catastrophe, many of its tunnels have been torn open or amputated, and a great number of its entrances have been sealed. Despite the degradation, the Eldari still rely upon the webways for swift travel, using webway gates to enable this. Right, I guess that's all gravy. It's pretty bad gravy. Oh, don't. Leave me alone. Stop it. Look, I'm just like you. I'm a big horse. Okay, I'm like you but bigger. This should be the friendship that is garnered between the T-Rex and the raptors in Jurassic World. Okay, that's what should be happening. Well, that went well. They seem to be doing well here. So what do they have anyway? They have sulfur breath. Lovely. They have phosphor pistols, and they have clawed limbs. So the range of 1 for all of this. So assault. So they might have. They might be able to overwatch the enemy here. They might be able to overwatch with the phosphor pistol and the sulfur breath, because it doesn't have melee for them. So yeah, they might be able to retaliate with that stuff. Cool. Maybe. We'll see. And one more turn and we can get that back. Good. And there is something else we can grab here too. So I want to grab that. Order cities. Acquire a new tile. The one with all the food in it. Brilliant. Cool stuff. So actually, that's something I want to check. Are these getting us more food now? Ah, so they are. So this is interesting. So, so 0.06 from features. What features are that? Is that the plus 20% from this thing? Or is it because we've got... Honestly, it's hard to say. I don't know if the buildings are actually contributing to that in any way. It seems like they are. Because 20% of 20 isn't 6. So I think the fact that we've stacked a couple... Yeah, we'll see. So, enemies. Hurry along, won't you? Good, we have more units. And you're injured now, so we'll send these guys. They are the vanguards, after all. I'll send them out first. Alright. And next up, we'll get a hero unit. We'll get the Skitarii Marshal, which hopefully will be able to keep all of the rest of the boys alive. Fingers crossed. So let's get a food building. And I might even get rid of the forest here. Although I'd have to wonder, is the forest what's giving me the extra food bonus here, or is that the river? I think it's the river. I think we can clear the trees there. So I'll do that. Well, I won't do it yet. I'll see if I can afford other things before I queue that up. I just have a feeling we're going to not have the production to keep building at this pace. We may need more ore. We may actually need more ore production. Okay, so you should be able to grab that. And Cybernetica data smiths have been added to the neutral... Oh, flippin' heck. They've been added to the neutral list, by the looks of it, which is fun. So these guys are pretty weird. So we didn't actually read the description of ours when we saw it. So data smiths optimize their programming of their robotic charges. These tech priests employ rituals and binaric hymns, you know, because binary, so binaric hymns to bless the Doctrina wafers through which they alter the robot's protocols. So Doctrina wafers, I'm pretty sure, are like flash drives and computer chips. Any sort of storage device, I think, is a Doctrina wafer. But anyway, through which they alter the robot's protocols, all the while laying waste to the enemies of the Omnissiah with blasts of ionizing radiation from their gamma pistols. So, big old jerks, basically. So this is a problem. And, ooh, that's a little altar of corn, which would be nice to take over. That'll give us some bonuses. So, we also found a Vespid Stingwing, and an Orfield. Where's that, then? Oh, that's literally what we just took over. So few places on an inhabited world still have mineral-rich rocks simply lying around on the surface. Yet here, the ruptures of the warp storm have torn great chunks from the planet's surface, allowing for easy exploitation by whichever faction finds it first. And Vespid Stingwings. Vespid stingwings dart into battle with unsettling insectile speed. The high-pitched whine of their wings inspires atavistic revulsion, seeming to come from every direction at once as it echoes and bounces from ruins and wreckage. When they strike, the Vespid do so with lightning speed, dropping from above, with their neutron blasters emitting bolts of translucent fire. Each shot shimmers clean through the armor of the foe, scouring their bodies with massive doses of radiation and burning them alive from the inside. Oh, joy. Luckily, they're mostly dead. I don't know who's been fighting them. Is that something I should worry about? Maybe. Let's get a power surge over here, because we can. We have a lot of influence, so we're not spending on anything right now. We will be spending on upkeep for this lad, though. This guy's going to cost 4 influence per turn upkeep. So, do have to keep that in mind. Order units. Do I want to order units? Do I? Do I want to do that? I mean, I could attack the webway gate, but I think I might actually let that be a barricade, so these guys have to move around it to get to me. Although they can shoot from there, but at least I have room to retreat. I just wish we had something with range of 2, because we have nothing with high range. They really do. This faction does rely on us having to get in close, which is kind of scary, and also kind of weird, given that we're the technology people, and yet we don't have the technology to shoot something more than, you know, a foot in front of us. It's a bit ridiculous. Okay, so here they come, and we are overwatching, which should do some pretty good work. Okay, yep, 3 out of 12 hit points. I'm amazed there's still 4 models standing there. That's weird. And now they're shooting from over there. Well, Cerberus Sulphur Hounds are still in the fight somehow. I think what I might do, move there and attack these guys, and then move these Scutarii forward to finish them off. So let's do just that. It'll almost kill them too. Excellent. And I'll finish them off. So they should survive, but I'm a bit unsure about these guys coming in and doing work to me. They might hit quite hard. So they do have gamma pistols, they have data spikes. Haywire increases damage and ignores armor against vehicles and fortifications. Wow, that's pretty cool. Kind of cool to see. Do these Sulphur Hounds count? I know they have hounds in the name and I'm still calling them horses, but they're being ridden, okay? They're being ridden. This is interesting. We have a Scutarii Marshal now. I didn't see him get recruited. Interesting. So, what's he got? He's got a Radium Serpenta, which gives rad poisoning. Lovely. And so that seems like no armor penetration, 1 damage, 1 attack. So it's basically nothing. I don't understand how that is even worth holding. But he does also have the Control Stave. So serving as a staff of office, control mechanisms, and weapon. A Control Stave is carried only by Scutarii Marshals, despite its multitudinous roles. It functions well at all of them. A brutal close combat weapon, it also enables the Marshal to control his Scutarii closely through control edicts and aggression overrides. Interesting. I guess we'll get him some of those. So we have a control edict, removes Doctrina Imperatives and Malus from allied units in range. I don't exactly know how that works. Increases the attacks of target allied Adeptus Mechanicus units. Plus 33%. It's a free action, so I can just give this to someone and then go about my day. Or increase the damage of allied Adeptus Mechanicus units in range. That's plus 17%, which is, so obviously if I give an extra third of the amount of attacks, then that's going to be better than just giving plus 17% damage, but I'm assuming that this will scale better with like single hit units. So just something that's going to hit once for a lot of damage, that's the way to go. But seeing as how we have just groups of stuff at the moment, I think additional attacks might be better. Yeah, I don't really know what that Malus from allied units in range is, so we'll go with the other one. Cool. Right, let's get stuck in then. So can I see what that Malus is? It's not telling me anything about a Malus that I have from other units in range. I've only got benefits here. Yeah, no idea. Don't know what that Malus would be. I guess we'll find out at some point. I'm assuming I can't have too many of my own units all clumped together, maybe? Not really sure why, but I guess that's a thing. Produce Scutarii Vanguards, I think that's what we're going to do. And now, so we've almost got another food building built. So I might build yet another one there. Because right now we have enough energy and everything else. So I'll get another one of those queued up here. So we'll have a couple in one spot. Sounds good. So, Skull Altar. Rising from the ground, the Skull Altar is formed out of the violent tributes heaped in offering for Khorne's throne. From atop the grisly pedestal, a priest of Khorne roars out incentives, evoking the judgments of the blood god to smite down all signs of weakness. Hooray! Gives us more influence, weirdly. I'm not entirely sure how it would do that. I would have thought it would only spread Khorne's influence. But I guess it just makes us into big bullies, so people give us what what we want. I don't know. But anyway, this is where we're going to end it. This is where we're going to end the episode, guys. And I've forgotten how to hide the HUD. It's been a while since I've done a campaign here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's learn things, guys. How do I hide the HUD? Hide the HUD. And I can save screenshots as well. Isn't that fun? Hide the HUD. Toggle HUD. I found it. Control H. Of course it's Control H. Why wouldn't it be that? There we go. Much better. Superb. So guys, if you enjoyed this, comment, like, subscribe, and if you're looking to buy the new DLC, or any of the previous DLCs for Gladius, or a bunch of other Warhammer stuff, go to nexus.gg/Janet, and you can buy them from my store. And I get a cut, and it's a Steam key, and everyone's happy, and yay. Brilliant. That's your homework. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a good one. Take care.